Lads, welcome back to Cossy podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We are diving into the latest around Arsenal. Now, the big question is, after signing Julian Timber, Declan Rice, and Kai Havertz, what will Arsenal do next in the transfer window? We know that Mikel Arteta wants a centre back. We know that he also wants a forward, and he wants at least two midfielders in central midfield. So we might be looking at another midfielder. We might be looking at a striker. We might also be looking at another centre back. The big question for you in the comment box below, let me know. There are three options here: a striker, a midfielder, and a centre back or a defender, right? So where should Arsenal focus? Where should Arsenal look after Timber, Rice, and Kai Havertz? Where should our focus be next after those three signings? Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. Let's have the conversation in the comment box below as well. Now, we know that Kieran Tierney could be leaving this summer. Of course, the talk about exits is a little bit cool. I think it's due to the fact that Eddie's still working on players coming in, Rice, priorities like Timber, priorities like Kai Havertz as well. So we know that we might lose some quality at left back. Nuno Tavares is on the radar of West Ham, but is also on the radar of Galatasaray as well. I understand that Kieran Tierney is wanted at Celtic. Kieran Tierney is wanted at Newcastle and Aston Villa as well. Okay, so we might have some quality lost at left back. I think at centre back we are alright. Kivio, Gabriel Magalhaes, William Saliba, Julian Timber, and Benjamin White plus Tomiyasu. That should be enough for us to cover right back and centre back. In goal we are absolutely alright. But losing Thomas Partey in midfield and Granit Xhaka means that you need to replace them like for like, which we've actually done. We've replaced Thomas Partey with Rice, and we've replaced Xhaka with Kai Havertz. So the big question now is, do we need squad depth in midfield? I think that is a no-brainer. Last campaign is one of the reasons as to why we suffered a lot. We didn't have the squad depth necessary for Arsenal to go all the way and do the huge stuff, right? We didn't have a backup to Thomas Partey. We didn't have a backup for Granit Xhaka. And we also didn't have that quality to go and replace a player like Martin Odegaard, especially in games where he felt like he was not giving us the best. And even in games where you just wanted to rotate him, we didn't have that real quality. Up front, I think there are so many questions with Edin Ketia and Florian Balogun both on the market. Arsenal will be looking to sign at least one more centre forward. We've been linked with Elie Wahi at Montpellier in France. We've been linked with Mousa Diaby, can play in that position. We've also been linked with Lautaro Martinez as well, right? A right wing where Saka plays, that is where Kai Havertz will be providing that kind of depth. But of course, you've got to factor into the situations where Kai Havertz is playing as the left number 8. So who are we going to rotate Saka with? We need someone in that position. On the left-hand side, Gabriel Martinelli, Emile Smith-Rowe, Fabio Vieira, and Leandro Trossard. It seems a little bit sorted down that left-hand side, unless Mikel Arteta wants to bring in someone so proven. So let's dive into what we are looking at and the names that are being talked about in the market. Number one is, of course, Mousa Diaby. Is a player that Arsenal have been linked with, of course, for quite some time, and is a player that I've talked about many times on the channel. I love him, you love him, Arteta loves him, Edu loves him. The player would love to play for Arsenal. But a recent publication from France, I think it was in the L'Equipe, had actually said that the deal might be very difficult now that Kai Havertz is signing for Arsenal. And look, I understand the thinking, I understand the logic behind that article. They think because we've signed Kai Havertz and he can play on the left wing, right wing, down to the middle as a number 10, and also as a false 9, Arsenal might not need to bring in another forward. Now, this is absolutely not true, because you look at what we were trying to do before the summer started. Arsenal were looking at 5 signings minimum. We were not looking at 3. We're looking at five signings minimum. Look, the fact that we've spent a lot of cash on Havertz, Rice, and Timber, it means that we might not be able to go and sign 6 players or maybe 5 players. But I reckon there will be one more signing, or at least 2 more signings for Arsenal. I think Kai Havertz is such a very interesting profile. Same as Timber, same as Rice. Mikel Arteta's chosen players that are positionally absolutely able and are very, very positionally very versatile. So what he's done here, he's looked at Kai Havertz and he said, I can play Fabio Vieira in that position to replace Xhaka directly, and I can play Kai Havertz as my false nine. I can play him on the right wing, and I can also play him on the left wing as well. But right now, Kai Havertz joins Arsenal as that left number 8. Now, the problem arises in scenarios where Kai Havertz does very well as the left number 8. Odegaard has already done very well as the right number 8. So you literally cannot... you can't change that, right? You really cannot, displace Kai Havertz because you want him to play, on the right-hand side or on the left-hand side. So what we have to do, in my opinion, is either trust Fabio Vieira to be able to rotate with Bukayo Saka, or look to the market. And in the market, the name that has been linked with Arsenal is Mousa Diaby. Now, Diaby has a lot of qualities that he will bring to the side. Number one, goal scoring. Now, look, our right-hand side is the creative part of the team. If you've not actually noticed, we create a lot of chances through Saka, Partey, Odegaard, and Benjamin White. And with Timber coming into the side, Timber to partner with Saka and Odegaard, and maybe Beckers as well, we might see an increase in the number of chances created per 90, but also in the in those quality chances that we'll be creating every single match. On the left hand side is where the goals come through, and Diaby will have to be creative as he can be. Now, I can tell you that the last campaign, he created 9 assists for the team, Bayer Leverkusen, and is one of the players that also really scored a lot of goals, 8 for them in last campaign. Now, you look at Saka. What is Saka's biggest attribute? Goals and assists, and beating players in 1v1 situations, but plus the ability to link up with players like Odegaard, Partey, and Benjamin White. I think Mousa Diaby has got that, scores a lot of goals, creates a lot of chances, has got the ability to link up. You look at the way he's been linking up with Jeremy Frimpong on that right-hand side for Bayer Leverkusen. Exceptional. Purely exceptional. It has been very interesting stuff if you've been able to watch them at least in the German Bundesliga 1 or 2 times. And I'm speaking out of experience because I've seen them for something like 120 minutes. That shouldn't be enough, but yes, it is enough. So Mousa Diaby is a player I would like Arsenal to sign next, because our forward line will need a lot of reinforcements. Our forward line will need a lot of quality. Just imagine Saka produces the 20 goal contributions or 25 goal contributions he did last campaign, and then you have Mousa Diaby's 10 goal contributions, and then you have Martinelli's 25 goal contributions, Leandro Trossard's 20 goal contributions, and Kai Havertz's 20 goal contributions, and also Gabriel Jesus' 20 goal contributions. Look, the strategy that we've gone for is everyone should score and everyone must score. So our goals don't come from one single source. Our goals come from different sources. So that is why it is very key for us to go for another forward, especially in the caliber of Mousa Diaby. Goals, 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 assists, assists, assists as well. Now in midfield, we are linked with 2 players. Actually 3, not 2. One is Romeo Lavia. Looks like the most likely player to join Arsenal after the 3 that we are targeting. Romeo Lavia is a very interesting profile because he can play and give you what exactly Thomas Partey gives you. He's so physical and very, very young as well. Now, Southampton are asking for around 40-45 million. I think Arsenal will look to reduce on that price. I think we will try to sign a player cheaper than 45 million, cheaper than 40 million. We might go out there and look for some kind of talent, prodigy, that we can bring into the side, groom into the next Alexander Songbilong, groom into the next Thomas Partey. But Romeo Lavia is interesting. He was playing with the Manchester City under 23s 2 seasons ago. Last season he played in the Premier League. Next season he could potentially play in the Championship. Like, He's quite a very interesting player. To come from the under-23s at Manchester City, and you play a very vital role for Southampton, up to 29 games in midfield for them, that is sensational. That is exceptional. So Mikel Arteta is a big fan, and of course we have good relations with the agent of the player. It could happen. It is the most likely deal that Arsenal will do after signing Rice, Timber, and Kai Havertz. But my problem is with the price. I think Arsenal wants something cheaper. And I think if we wanted to sign anything expensive, we might look for a big profile. Okay? So I think Arsenal will decide to go cheap but effective. Okay? I won't be surprised if we go and sign some guy that you've not heard of, right? Some 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old that you've not heard of, but has huge potential, just to back up Rice and maybe Kai Havertz in that central midfield. So we wait to see what happens. The departure of Thomas Partey will mean that Arsenal will definitely have to move for someone. Romeo Lavia, interesting profile, very likely at the moment, but I'm not convinced about that 40 million rising to 60 that is being demanded by Southampton at the moment. The next one is Aurelien Tchouameni. We've talked about Aurelien Tchouameni, and Tchouameni is another one that just doesn't make any sense. Like, when you wake up in the morning and it's very cold, it's freezing cold, and then maybe the delivery man delivers to you very cold milk. Like, just doesn't make any sense. You want something warm. But with Tchouameni, it's the price. Arsenal's rebuild and the phase we are on, clearly we can afford Tchouameni. Clearly, we can't go for Tchouameni. But if Arsenal wanted to go for Aurelien Tchouameni, that would have been last summer. Not this summer. This summer, Aurelien Tchouameni is a Real Madrid player who has just signed for them. Like, there is no reason Madrid let him go. Unless they say, we let go of Aurelien Tchouameni to make sure that we can raise funds to accommodate Kylian Mbappe and stay within the limits of FFP. I will understand that. But I don't think Madrid have signed Tchouameni, Camavinga, Bellingham by mistake. No. They signed Tchouameni well knowing that at some point in time, they would be required to sign Kylian Mbappe. They've signed Aurelien Tchouameni, well knowing that at some point in time they would sign a player in the caliber of Jude Bellingham for 100 million. So spending 100 million per summer on one player, that is a premeditated strategy. That is a strategy that Fiorentino Perez has looked at and has gone, this will work. So for me, Tchouameni is gonna be a Real Madrid player for 20 years. I'm telling you, for 20 years. Stop simping, right? What Arsenal are doing on Aurelien Tchouameni is what we call simping. You can't afford, but you keep on, admiring. Just let's admire Tchouameni and let's move on. Definitely. The one interesting profile I've looked at in midfield that Arsenal could actually sign is the boy at Monaco, Youssouf Fofana. That is the player that I think Arsenal should go for. He could cost around 30 million. He's 22, strong, would offer something different from Declan Rice, and you'd play him in games where you need absolute control in a double pivot alongside Declan Rice. So you'd play Youssouf Fofana, Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, and Martin Odegaard for midfield control. You would drop Alexander Zinchenko, especially in games where you're going to play the likes of Manchester City. You drop Alexander Zinchenko and clearly shift to a back three with Kieran Tierney, William Saliba, Julien Timber, and Gabriel Magalhaes. Okay, Timber dropping into midfield, of course. So in my opinion, Youssouf Fofana would be the next remarkably, understandably sensible signing. But let's look at the centre back positions. and generally defenders, right? If we lose Nuno Tavares, and we lose Cedric Soares, and we lose Corinthians, we might need to look at the market. Now, this is not the pressing issue because you lose Corinthians, Tomiyasu can cover. You lose Cedric Soares, Tomiyasu can cover as well. Okay? So this is not a pressurizing situation, but we might just need to look at the market. And if we look at the market, for a defender right now, after signing Julian Timber, there is only one player I would want, and I don't think Arsenal will sign him, and that is Valentino Livramento. Now, Tino Livramento is a player that Arsenal have been linked with prior to this transfer window. We were linked with him last summer, and he picked up a long-term injury. Like, very, very sad. Last season, he didn't play much football for Southampton due to the injury, and he's the player that I would really want Arsenal to sign. Valentino Livramento is the kind of player that can easily be rotated with Alexander Zinchenko, especially now that we know that Alexander Zinchenko's track record with injuries is actually alarming. Okay, he's picked up like 3 injuries in his first season at Arsenal, so you've got to bring in a player who can give you exactly as Alexander Zinchenko. What Arsenal have done, which is actually genius, is that we brought in Julian Timber to invert into midfield whenever Alexander Zinchenko is off the pitch. That is good, but at times we will need a direct replacement of Alexander Zinchenko, and Valentino Livramento is the player Arsenal should be looking at. Okay, so that is who signs next. That is my opinion, and that is those are the names that we are actually looking at the moment. Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast. See you right in the next one.